Hi guys, welcome back. This is the first video of microservices, and from this video we will begin our playlist and we will learn each and every component related to microservices one by one. Okay, so without waste any time, let's begin our first video and see what you will gonna learn from this video. Okay, yeah. So what we're gonna cover from this video, like in this video what we're gonna cover, like first thing is what is monolithic architecture and what is microservice architecture, why microservice architecture, like why companies and why we are following this architecture and what is the benefit of this, and how this architecture works. So as I always focus on why, because before learning anything you should know like why companies are moving toward this architecture and why you're gonna follow this. Okay, so we will learn each and everything one by one in detail. So let's move to the first point, like what is monolithic architecture. Okay, so this is a like in this first video we will cover each and every like theoretical part, each and every concept in detail, so when we are going to the coding part you don't have any difficulty to understand it. Okay, and I promise when I will go to the coding part you will get into the minute like what I'm doing there. Okay, so just read this definition, what it's saying, like monolithic is an architecture style. Okay, as in monolithic, the app has single code base with multiple modules that are dependent, okay, and upon each other and share a common database. If you read this definition and you not get a single thing, don't worry, we will see in detail what this means, this whole definition mean by. Okay, so let me introduce you to, yeah. If you can see here, here I have taken an example of e-commerce application like Flipkart or Amazon, like anything, like you can take e-commerce application example. So if you worked on any application, like if you are in college or you are working, no matter what, okay, so if you worked on any like application, monolithic application, right, if you're not using microservices, so like I have worked on previously like one project that based on monolithic. So just take this example, okay, you will get it completely. Like suppose this is a Flipkart or Amazon application, we have one module product, and here this module will be responsible to handle all the products, right, and this module is able to handle all the like product available in card, and this module is able to handle like all the users, right, and this is a payment. Simple, easy. I have taken like 4 modules to for sake of simplicity. I don't want to make it anything complicated, that's why. So suppose this is your whole structure and you gonna implement this application or you gonna develop this application. So what you will do, like this whole application you will cover in one part, right? Go back like this. So this is a one your application, right, this is a one your application and all these things come under this, right. This is like consider it like this outer rectangle, like sorry, outer square is your one Spring Boot application, and inside one Spring Boot application you are just working on different modules, right. These modules are like communicating to each other and performing the functionality. This is a like a monolithic architecture. So in monolithic architecture, what is this is a user interface. Like suppose you have a user interface which you build with the help of React.js or Angular, okay, and this is your business layer and this is your data access layer, right. So you can easily access this, right, and you can build this 3 component and your this component is accessing your database. Pretty simple. Now I think you have an idea like what is monolithic architecture. If you don't know, I know that you like 90% people who are watching this video have idea already like what is monolithic architecture, but then also it's needed to complete it, but everyone's not know, right, that's why I have completed here. So in monolithic architecture, like the components are not loosely coupled because this all modules are in one application, okay. So these are like tightly coupled and this is a structure of monolithic architecture, right. this is one application, and in one application we are following these modules, developing these modules, and we are following these layers like user interface and business layer and data access layer. Okay, now I hope you got a clear idea what about monolithic architecture. Still you have any question, just comment down, happy to answer. Okay, let's move to our slide. So now got it. So now the next point is, what is microservice architecture? This is interesting actually. So just read it once, and if you not get it, then we will see in detail how the microservice architecture is. So a microservice architecture consists of interconnected services, okay, and each microservice is self-contained and implemented a specific business capability. Each microservices, okay, possess itself a presentation layer, business layer, business logic layer, and data layer. Okay, if you read it not get it anything, no worry, we will see in detail how the architecture is. So come here, let's suppose you are this person, okay, and you don't know anything about backend, right? So you are the end user, so you have mobile or you have your PC, right? I think it is visible to you, right? So you have your mobile and you have your PC, so you want to access some particular website like Netflix or Amazon. So suppose just forget about it right now, you don't need to care about it. Now what the microservice will do, in e-commerce application, like we have 4 modules, right? Product, user, payment, and cart. So suppose we have taken example of this here 3 microservices. So this is our product microservice, okay, and this is our user microservice, and this is our cart microservice, okay. So we uses 3 I have taken example of 3 microservices here, no worries, okay. So just consider like this, each microservice is your one Spring Boot project, okay, and each microservice is one Spring Boot project. And what microservice is, like you are developing or implementing one module, like one module there, like this is your product module, right, and this is your that user module, and this is your cart module, okay. And the one key point here, each and every microservice will share a different, each and every microservice which have different database. They will not share a common database, okay, and different code base, because obviously like we have different project. One microservice is equals to like one Spring Boot project. Just keep this in mind, okay, nothing complicated here. One microservice, one Spring Boot project, okay, one microservice, one Spring Boot project. And in one microservice, like we are developing one module, okay. So for simplicity, just take it for now. And each microservice use one database, okay. They will not share database to each other, okay, like this microservice has this database and this microservice has this database, okay. Yeah. And what is API gateway? Just think about it like this, you send a request from your mobile, okay, and this from or your computer. This API gateway will know each and every microservice, and like you want to access your module, like this user from the phone, this user want to see products. So this API gateway know like this phone user or this client want to access your product, right? So this API gateway forward the request to the product. And like if this client is taking something in cart, so request will go to the cart microservice, and whatever the response will come, it will come back to the API gateway here, and it will come to the gateway here, right? And suppose this want to access user, like some user are going to log in or making account, right? So this API gateway know like from where he want to, like he need to forward forward the request. So it will forward the request to the user microservice. I think it is pretty clear. Don't worry, this is for like understanding for microservice architecture. And when we will discuss about working, I will let you know each and every component what they are doing here, okay. So this is your backend part. Okay, and this from here to here, this is your backend part you are developing, right? And one more important component here is discovery server. What discovery server is, each and every microservice you have to register somewhere. Okay, and so that server know like in which port your microservice is running, right? So it can easily find out the service for the request. Okay. So now get back to the next point. If you not understand this, when we discussed our working of microservice architecture, definitely whatever doubt you have, they will clear. Okay, so let's back to our next point. That is why microservice architecture. This is important actually. So if you're not able to see this, let me move it aside. Okay, so let me read it once. Okay, and then if you not get it, I will make you understand. Microservice came in a picture for building a system that were too big. Yeah, okay. The idea behind microservice is that there are some application which can easily build and maintain when they are broken down into the smaller application which work together. Each and every component continuously developed and separate managed, and application is then nearly sum of its constituted element, where in traditional monolithic application which is all developed all in one piece. Okay, if you not get it, let me make this whole big paragraph in one line. Suppose you have this application, okay, and you are developing this whole application like one module, and one module here, one module here, right? Like our e-card application, this is your one application. Okay, now microservice architecture came in picture. What they told, just take this architecture, sorry, let me make again. Okay, yeah, microservice came in a picture. What they told, you have 5 modules, right? Do not need to make this in bundle, right? Do not make like make at one time, like do not make to create, do not need to create at one project. Just do one thing, develop one module separately, develop another module separately, develop another module separately, like this, and whenever you need something, just communicate to each other and transfer the data. Okay, like this. So that's why we are using microservices, because it's make our life easier. Okay, and it's make our work so easier, because we don't need to be like push whole application to the database. Okay, whatever service we need, we will push that application. Okay, so if I give you the example, if you know like most of the people using Netflix, right? So suppose one movie release, like new movie released on Netflix. Like if you recently had a news, heard a news, Radhe released on Z News, right? And the server crashed for some time. So same thing if like Netflix followed, right? If some movies release, right? Here is a Netflix, and suppose one movie released here. Okay, and number of requests coming to the Netflix, like we want to watch this, we want to watch this. So what Netflix will do, like for that particular module, the request is coming from the client, right? What they will do, they will increase the instance of that particular module so that the server will not fail. Okay, understand what I'm trying to say here? I think it's clear now, right? Still you have any question, just comment down, I'm happy to answer. Okay, okay, let's move to the next point. Okay, benefits of adopting this microservice architecture design, as I mentioned, like development, deployment and development. Yeah, development and deployment is easier. Like if you are developing a whole application at a time, right? When the application is like you have a small application, then it very easier to develop it, right? And when your code base becomes so large, so it is just like very heavy to handle it. It's not like very impossible thing. It's not, I will not say impossible, it is very hard thing to manage that code base and develop that application. Okay, and if you have that, suppose you are developing your application, right? And some error will come. Okay, so like your client will say, I don't need this functionality, just give me the another build number. Okay, and just improve this. Like suppose you have developed something, client denied that. So what you need to do, you need to again develop that, you need to again develop that, and again push to the like deploy our application again. So in monolithic architecture, you have to, like, this is your complete application and you have these modules, right? So in monolithic architecture, you need to deploy this whole application, right? And in microservice architecture, you have this, like suppose you getting error in particular functionality and particular microservice or module, right? So just check your error, okay, and if your error is like not there, so just deploy this one microservice, no need to deploy whole application. Okay, and second thing is scalability. As I give you the example of Netflix, whenever you need a particular instance of particular microservice, you can increase the like instance of your microservice, right? Like if your request coming for a particular movie, right, like 1,000 requests coming from a particular movie, you can increase that particular microservice instances. Easier to understand the code, obviously your code is small and separated, then you can understand easily, right? Improved productivity, yeah, and speed, because you are suppose you are debugging your that monolithic architecture application, that heavy code base, it will take time. Sometime I still know, like previous project I'm working, it took like 5 minutes to start a server. Okay, so yeah, it will very heavy, and when your code is small, it will increase the speed, right? And your id, that id when you are going to code, right, whatever id you are using, like IntelliJ or you are using Eclipse, it will also like perform nicely when your code is not so big. Flexibility, of course, like suppose like you have these microservice, 4 microservice, okay, and some requirement came in this fourth microservice here, this fourth requirement came, and these all are one. This developed in Java, this also developed in Java, this also developed in Java, and this also developed in Java. Suppose one requirement came and you found it, right, this requirement is, I can develop in good way and better way and fast in Python. Okay, Python code is more effectively work for this requirement. So like suppose if you have this monolithic architecture, what you will need to do, you need to code your whole application, right? You need to code your whole application. But what the benefit of this adopting like microservice, you no need to be worried about these all microservice, this one and this one, right? Because these are independent, right? No need to be worried about, they will run, right? So you need to worry about this one because you want to be change the code of this fourth microservice. So no worries, right? This is independent, they will not affect these 3 microservices, right? So just go and change this code and deploy it, and again it will work. Simple, right? If you can do this thing in my monolithic, I don't think so, right? You need to be like code your whole application again, and this should be like headache, right? So okay, these are the benefit. Like actually I have mentioned only 5, there's a lot of benefits, you can just go to the internet and search once. Okay, yeah, now the working, actually the good point. So if you can see that example like I have showed to you, just read it once, okay, then we will talk about the working or what all these things is. Like microservices are isolated from each other, right? We know that independently they work, and each agile team build individual components. We have, like if you are following the scrum model or agile, you have a particular team, and particular team like assigned to the microservice. Okay, they will build that. But how these microservices work together to communicate between microservices, it need an inter-process communication mechanism. Let's understand each and every component of microservice. I will make you understand how they also communicate just in 2 minutes. Okay, client, you know, like one client program, your browser or your mobile send a request. What is API gateway? Handle a request from various client, like various client, I told you. Discovery server, this is used to find a route of communication between microservices. I told you, right? We have one microservice, we named that discovery server. Okay, each and everything is a microservice here. So like we used like Eureka server for it. So we will discover our microservice, whatever microservice we have, and we register there, so it can find out like what are the port number they are running. We will see each and everything practically. Okay, I'm explaining this theory because when I am going to be coded that microservices, you found pretty easy there. Okay, so yeah, let me show you how the communication happens. Okay, suppose you have this one client program. Okay, and this is your server program. Okay, for making your communication, okay, just forget about the client program. Suppose this is your microservice, okay, 1, and this is your microservice 2. Okay, and they want to communicate each other. As we know, this microservice are communicated with the rest. Okay, so for communication, first we need network, right? What we need? Network. But network is not enough, right? So what we need, like suppose this first microservice need to send some data to microservice 2, and it will perform some operation, and it will send the response back. So for sending the data in packets, because network protocol, like if you remember, like we have 7 OSI models. Like if you have done engineering, then there is a one model, OSI model. We have 7 layer there, right? Network layer and all application layer. So we have one protocol, that is TCP IP. Okay, so what this protocol is responsible for, it will whatever data you will give, it will take to the network, and that data it will send it into the packet. Okay, like this, and data will go to here. Okay, and this microservice get a data. Okay, got it. And at last, what it will done, why we are using here HTTP, like this is TCP/IP network protocol, and HTTP are application protocol. Okay, so we use HTTP protocol over a network protocol. So we use here HTTP. Okay, okay, leave it. So yeah, that diagram will gone because that notification came. Okay, let me put in the charge, and I will make you understand again. Yeah, just give me a second. Yeah, it works. So let me open a paint for it, so I will make you understand in a better way. Okay, yeah, suppose you have this one microservice, and you have this another microservice. Okay, uh, we have this another microservice. Okay, and we need something to communicate. Okay, okay, why this is not working? Yeah, we need a network, right? We need a network. Okay, so what we need here? Network. And for network is not only capable of your communication, you also need a protocol. What the protocol is, that is TCP/IP. Okay, yeah. And what this TCP/IP protocol is responsible for send, like suppose you want to send a data. Here this is your data. Okay, let me use this color for it. Yeah, not this. Okay, so we have now what it will do, it will send your this packets into the this data into the packets. Okay, and finally this microservice get your data into the packets 1, 2, 3. Okay, and finally you have this data. Okay, so TCP/IP used for transferring your data into the packet, but it is also not like by with alone TCP IP you can make a communication. So here in microservices, like what are these are, this is my microservice, this is my microservice 1 and this is my microservice 2. So this only protocol, this is a network protocol and this is not enough. Okay, so what like microservices using a communication or REST template for communication. Okay, so we need here HTTP, like REST is using HTTP protocol over TCP IP protocol. Okay, so what they will use here, HTTP. Okay, and what HTTP is responsible for, like HTTP will give a format of data, like you will send a format, like you will first send a header or whatever you send a response body. That is a like not a concept of this particular video. When we do the communication, I will make you understand like how actually this communication will happen. Okay, I think you got it, like how the communication happen, how all these things are working, like what is the API gateway is and how the microservice is, right? And each and every microservice has different like independent user interface and business layer and data access layer, right? Because they are independent. I told you, right? One microservice equal to the one Spring Boot project. That's all. So still you have any question, just comment down. I'm happy to answer. I will answer each and every question of yours. Okay, till then, see you in next video. Bye bye.